Hi, anyone and everyone. This is Kim, the Humble Hermit from Come As You Are Oracle. I'm going to do a collective tarot, a tarot for today. Today is Friday, December 19th, 2025. You may follow me on the talk, the tube, my blog, or not. Totally up to you. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it doesn't fit, don't make it fit. If some of it fits, God's kiss. We love that for you. Whatever doesn't, just leave it on the table for someone else. We don't want you taking on energy that wasn't meant for you. We're going to use Christmas Spirit Tarot by Hattie Thorne. You can find this at hattiethorne.com. She also has an Etsy shop. We got 2 on the table. Three on the table. 4 on the table. Let's do 2 more shuffles. We got 1 in reverse, by the way. 5 on the table, 1 in reverse. A lot of swords. Last shuffle. No major. Top of the deck is the Hermit. With the Magician. 3 of Wands and Justice. 4 of Wands. Bottom of the deck, Queen of Cups. Queen of Swords. All right, I'm going to set the box over here and set the cards on the box. All right, we got 6 with bottom of the deck. We got 2 of Swords. 7 of Swords. We've got 9 of Wands. We got 8 of Pentacles in the reverse. 4 of Swords. And bottom of the deck, 7 of Wands. Seven of Swords, 7 of Wands. Feminine, masculine, take how it resonates. It doesn't matter. Someone is blindly going towards something. I don't know if it's someone going towards like a job, a move, anything, or if it's you going towards someone, or if it's someone going towards you. Someone is blindly going towards something. Like they're rushing to get to something. Or again, someone. This person is going to have their guard up. I think because, so if this is a person going towards another person, they're going to have their guard up, but they're going to expect that other person to have their guard up too. Pardon me. I always wish I had brought a drink in here. I really wish I brought my like an electrolyte drink or something in here. Some cranberry and water juice. I don't know. I always regret it. I'm always in a hurry and I forget. Okay, are they okay? Okay. If this is a person going towards another person, they're mirroring each other. This person has their guard up. They're going to expect that other person to have their guard up. they have been in deep contemplation about going towards this person. That other person has been in contemplation about going towards them. Twin flames, soulmates, divine counterparts. I don't know. Now I feel like I have to tell you guys a story because I heard something. Was it this morning or last night? I can't remember. Pardon me, on a tarot read, and it immediately made me think about my situation. So when you look at this Eight of Pentacles, like this feminine is writing a letter, maybe a ledger, keeping track of something. I don't know. Whoever this person is that's rushing in blindly with their guard up, they know that they need to do this in person. So I don't know, like, if they contemplated like just sending a text, if they contemplated like writing a letter. Somebody wants to do this in person. Like they need to. Okay, when you send a text, right? Sometimes you just send a text and you say what you say, it is what it is, right? But when people read said text, depending on the person, they could read it a different way, right? Like we as humans, we can tend to read emotion into the written word, even though maybe that's not what the writer intended, right? Because it gives, like, this person doesn't want like miscommunication. Like they want to stand in front of somebody, they want to say what they have to say, and they want to see somebody's reaction, somebody's body language. They want to know, like, okay, you heard what I said. Now let me see your reaction. Let me see your response. Because you could text back and forth all day long, but if you're not looking at that person in person, FaceTime, whatever the case, right? Like some people, okay, so here's the other thing with the Four of Swords, the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is bottom of the deck. With this Four of Swords, somebody has this feeling that they're going to come in and say what they have to say, and it might leave another person kind of in shock. I think somebody's going to be blindsided. Because again, whoever these two are, they're mirroring each other. And that other person wants to come in for conversation too, but they don't, right? They hold back for whatever reason. But I also don't think that they necessarily know that they're marrying each other. So when this person comes in and says something to this other person, like they're not expecting that. They're not expecting that. Pardon me. And I don't know if there's been like a delay, like a time difference, like, maybe it's been a few days, a few weeks, a few months. With the Seven of Wands, whoever this person is, like they're ready to fight for something. I think they could be ready to fight with the other person in regards to like a connection, a situation, a relationship, whatever the case. But I also think this person is ready to fight to say what they have to say, to get something off their chest. Pardon me. Both of these people, I think, have the feeling that this is long overdue. All right. So let me just give you an example. Let me just do story time with Kim, okay? Sharing is caring and all that jazz. So if you subscribe, you know that I fell in love with a younger gentleman that I work with. We work together in the same department. I see him 2 to 3 days a week. Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Sometimes not on Sundays. And I'm not necessarily around him all day. We're in the same department. I see him in the morning. Sometimes I see him at break, lunch, whatever. Sometimes we are in the same vicinity, but we're rarely like next to each other, close to each other, whatever. So on Thursday, we were both in the picking area of our department, and he was about 4 stations away from me. He was at one end, I was at the other. Now, my friend was on the other side of him. She was literally at the end. She was on the last station. I was on the line of picking is divided into two sections right in the middle. There's 7 stations on one side, 7 stations on the other. And by that just means that the totes from this side go that way and the totes from this side go that way. They all go to the same place. They all go to packing. They just go from different directions. So there's not one line that gets clogged. So there's 2 lines. So if one line gets clogged, the other line can keep going. You know what I'm saying? So we're on the side of Rampack. Rampack is you pick and pack your own stuff. You put it in a box. It goes to Rampack, and a machine packs that box, not a person. There are 2 to 3 people up there that oversee everything up there, from the robots that pack the boxes to the machines that make the boxes. Okay? There's like 2 to 3 people up there every day. So he's on the one end. My friend is literally on the end. I'm absolutely on the other end. I'm the last person on the other end. So, yeah. Watching me all day long, on and off all day long. I would turn around and catch him watching me. Um, Again, my friend was by him. I was sending her text messages. We were laughing at each other, whatever, watching each other, waving at each other, and he would get in the way, and then he would stand there and watch me. He would leave his station to go get water, and he would. Now, the way that last station is where I was at, it's kind of sectioned off, so you kind of got to go out and around. So if you come up near my station, like there's no reason for you to come up near my station unless you're coming to my station to talk to me. And he would constantly come around instead of going around the easier way to get to the water cooler. I don't know what the deal was. And I've told you, if you guys follow and subscribe, I've told you this before. Like when everything first started in the summer, the beginning, middle of summer, he was constantly watching me, constantly making excuses to walk by, all that stuff. It stopped for a while. For a good while, it stopped. Now he's doing it again, and I have no idea why. I have no idea why. But I was watching a reading this morning. I think it was last night. It might have been midnight, so whatever. And if you guys remember, I wrote him a letter asking him a question so that I could heal myself from the situation because I thought I was going insane. And I wrote him the letter not because I was afraid to talk to him, but because I didn't want to get in his space, and I didn't want to seem like I was harping, because I didn't want to get accused of harassment, that kind of thing. I mean, this is my work. I've told you guys this before. I don't really fall in love with people that I work with. The last time I did that was when I was 18, 19, something like that. And I worked at Dominic's, which is no longer in business. But yeah, that was the last time I fell in love with somebody at a workplace. So I didn't want to, rile him up and then have him go to HR and I get in trouble. And literally, I'm thinking to myself, it's just miscommunication, right? You thought we were friends. I was falling in love with you. I would just like to know that. I would just like confirmation so that I can move on. He never answered my letter. We never had a conversation. He had no interest in talking to me. I went my own way. He went his own way. Last night, I was watching a reading, and they said somebody's going to write somebody a letter. And it's funny because I wasn't thinking about how I wrote him the letter, but I instantly got this thought, this feeling in my gut that he's going to turn around and write me a letter 5 months later, 4 months later, whatever. 4 or 5 months later, he's going to write me a letter with a response that's 4 or 5 months too late. And it's not that it would be too late. It's just that, well, what do you want me to say at this point? What do you hope to garner from the situation after 4 or 5 months when we could have had a conversation 4 or 5 months ago? And again, as the person that was the older person, the adult, I didn't want to seem like I was harassing him or anything like that. That's why I wrote him the letter. But yeah, I thought that was hilarious last night when I heard that, because I instantly was like, letter? And I instantly thought, he's going to write me a letter now? I wasn't even thinking about the fact that I had wrote him a letter. That's been over and done with for a while. But I instantly had this thought, oh, he's going to write me a letter, Yeah. And yesterday, I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was, y'all. And oh, I forgot the best part. You want to know the best part? Here's the best part. I know you guys love this. It's like a telenovela. We go to last break, and him and I are getting ready to go down almost exactly the same time. I was getting ready to go down the stairs. He was maybe 10, 15 feet behind me. Our boss calls us both over and says, do you want to take a picture of this or write it down? And it was our schedule for what we call the spike at the end of December, beginning of January. Because every 3 months, at the beginning of every quarter, we typically get a spike in work. So we get more work than usual, and we have to work overtime. The thing is January is usually not that big of a deal for us. Maybe 2-3 days of overtime, and then we're done. However, we did get some new customers towards the end of this past year, right? I think we got new customers in September. So technically, January could be different for us. It could be busy. So she had a printout of what they determined the schedule to be ahead of time just in case, because they don't want to tell us, like, okay, you have to work 12 hours today. Like, they try to give us notice as best they can. You got to give them kudos for that. And we deal in medical supplies, so like we have to get it out. Like, we're talking hospitals, home care, all that stuff, nursing homes, everything. People need medical supplies. So I go over. I'm like, oh yeah. So I go over and I take a photo of it, and I go to turn around, and he's like right behind me, and I'm like, what the, I'm like, what? And he wasn't like right behind me, but he was behind me enough to I was like, okay, what the fuck, like, go stand 10 feet away. So I pivot and I go down the stairs and I go take my break. So two or three of my two of my friends, yeah, two of my friends were sitting down there. I get my Red Bull. I take my bag out to my car, and I have my Red Bull, and I'm sitting there next to my two friends. They're at the end. I'm they're at the end. I'm next to them, and there's probably like 3 or 4 empty seats. Okay, probably three. Probably three. He comes down. The guy walks to the other side of the lunchroom. I can't remember, get his lunch bag. I don't know. He was doing something. Comes back along the front of the wall of the lunchroom, which faces the parking lot. So it's technically the front of the lunchroom where all the windows are. Comes walking along, sits down. I'm going to have to run out and turn that off. It's my alarm for my dinner. Sits down in the last seat, 2 seats from me. When I tell you I have not sat that close to him or technically been that close to him other than like in passing, and usually even then, like, he tries to like avoid me at all cost. I was uncomfortable, to say the least, because I'm like, I didn't, my friends are talking to me and I'm trying to engage in conversation, but I I didn't want to say anything personal because I don't want him hearing any of my business, even though, I mean, I don't, whatever. I'm an open book technically, but whatever. I don't want him like hearing anything. And I was so conscious of him being there, like I couldn't concentrate on what they were saying. And I felt like a teenager. I felt like a teenager. It was ridiculous. And the thing is I think he knows. I think he knows that he riles me up. I think he knows that. I think he knows that. And I can't remember if I told you guys or not, but last week one of my friends had told me that, I don't remember if I told you guys this at all. That she knew that he deliberately led me on. Like, he knew I was interested and he played me on purpose. I can't remember if I told you guys that or not. She told me that last week. I was upset just because it was like confirmation for me, because I had already had that thought. I had already had that little nudge that that's what that was. So it was, like I said, it was just confirmation, and it was upsetting, but at the same time, like, okay, I don't, whatever. Anyway, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know what the hell that was yesterday. I don't know what his deal was. I don't know. I don't know. And then he was talking with my arch nemesis on and off. She was the lady that I used to be really good friends with. And then she called me a racist, and she never wanted me to be friends with anybody else. It was like we were 12-year-old girls. I think I've referred to her before as the 12-year-old, like the never-ending 12-year-old, because that's all she knows. Her behavior is ridiculous. Even today, she was giving people Christmas gifts. Like she made them like little Christmas gifts. Like she gives her friends the same thing every year. It's like a cup. She probably is thinking like an alcoholic drinking cup, but you could put whatever you want in there. And then she puts like candy and stuff in there. She does it every year. She just does a different cup every year. And she was pulling people into the locker room, but she was doing it when I was standing there. And she's like, "Oh, yeah, I have something for you. Follow me." And I'm playing on my phone, minding my own business, but I can hear everything that's going on. And I'm thinking, you can give them the present in front of me. Like, I'm not going to be offended. Like, we're not friends anymore. And I don't hold anything against her. I'm not mad at her. I'm not upset at her. I wish her well. I love her. I hope nothing but the best for her. She just doesn't wish that for anybody else. And her giving people Christmas gifts is sadly laughable because to her, she's like buying them. And if they don't reciprocate, she's going to be pissed off. Hold on one second. Let me go turn off this alarm because it's driving me nuts. And I think I can still talk because I have the mic. But yeah, so that happened yesterday with the guy. I saw the reading that said that someone was going to write a letter. It was just crazy. All right, calm down. Calm down. Need to put a plate over this so the cats don't eat my fish. All right. So yeah, I think whoever this is that's going towards somebody is really looking for communication and not a text, not a letter, not an email, not even by phone. Like somebody wants to see somebody in person. And like I said, I think somebody's going to be a little bit in shock when this happens. And I really do think that both people are going to have their guard up. I really do. Whatever transpired in this situation, this relationship before, and again, if this isn't a relationship for you, if this is like career, if this is moving into a new home, I mean, it all makes sense. You just need to think through the cards in regards to a different situation. Because if you were to start a new job and go in for a new job, you would have your guard up, your new boss, your new coworkers, like, oh, there's Ted, he's new, nobody knows him. Who's going to talk to him first, that kind of thing. I mean, everybody gets that. Yeah. But like I said, whoever this is, whether it's a connection or a situation, they're they want to fight for something. And again, it doesn't necessarily mean they want to fight for an actual relationship. They might, but they want to fight for themselves. Like they want to stand up for themselves. They want to say what they have to say. So maybe like if this was a relationship, maybe it ended and somebody got cut off, blocked, something like that, and they never really got to say what they wanted to say, and now they're going to come in and be like, "No, I'm going to say what I have to say." And you're going to stand there and you're going to listen, and that other person is going to be shocked like, "I'm going to stand here and I'm going to listen?" Like, are you sure? Are you sure about that? And it's not it, and just an FYI before I end this, like it's not giving off like a violent energy or anything like that. Like this is just someone that has something to say and they want to say what they have to say. Like that it's time. Like this person has probably been, what is it, chomping at the bit, like to say something. And now they realize, like, okay, it's probably past time. I need to say what I need to say. And I'm going to say it. I'm going to leave it there. I hope it resonated for you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope, if anything, you were entertained. Hopefully, you liked story time with Kim. If you all follow, if you all subscribe, you know about my situation. And I never lie. I'm always honest. I always tell the truth. And yeah, it is what it is. But I hope everybody has a lovely Friday evening. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Just an FYI, I am off tomorrow. I will be doing readings. I'll probably be doing extra affirmations. I'll probably be doing extra readings. If it's nice out, hopefully I'll be spending a lot of time walking outside. I walked a little bit when I got home, but it was too windy. It was too chilly. And I didn't bring a scarf with me. So hopefully tomorrow during the day the sun will be out. It'll be warmer. I'm hoping. Sun was out earlier today. I was at work all day, you know. And then Sunday affirmations. I'll be off in the evening, not doing the collective, not doing the tarot collective, unless for some reason I feel called to. And I will be volunteering because it'll be the weekend before my weekend off. So just a little update for you guys. Again, hope you have a lovely evening, and I'll talk to you later.